Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope everyone is fine and in cheerful spirits. And all of you must have started preparing for the terminal exams seriously now. We also continue with our revision of the literature section. Today we are going to do lesson number 2, trees. Now, do you remember trees? I am sure many of you remember trees because first, it is very short. Second, it is very interesting and easy. It has got just 3 stanzas of 5 lines each. Now, what are such poems called? Do you remember what kind of poem is trees? Yes, it is a limerick, and limerick has just 5 lines in each stanza. The first 2 lines are longer and rhyme with each other. The third and the fourth line are shorter, and these two rhyme with each other. And then the fifth line is longer and rhymes with the first and second. So we have the rhyme scheme A A B B A. Usually limericks are funny poems and mostly nonsense poems, but Trees is not a funny poem. It has a serious message for us. So such kind of poems are called poetic limericks. Now let us answer a few questions. I have a quiz for you, and you can test yourself and know how much of the poem you remember and how much revision you need. So let's start with the quiz. You keep a notebook and a pencil with you, and as soon as I read the question, I'm going to read the question slowly. You must write the answer, jot down a few points. You don't need to write a complete sentence right now, but later, if you wish, you can write complete sentences. Now, the first question is, mention 2 things that the tree was ready with. This is in the very first line of the poem. Just write those 2 things. Written. Now the second one. Was the tree afraid of the frost? How can you tell? In the first part, there are 2 parts. The first part, you can just write yes or no. And then what shows that the tree was afraid or was not afraid? Please answer both the parts. Now the third one. Did the tree have flowers? When the frost said something to the tree? Did the tree have flowers when the frost said something to the tree? You can just write yes or no. Think properly and then write. Written. Now the fourth one. What request did the tree make to the frost? Now what was the tree's request to the frost? Just write your answer in 2 to 3 words. You don't need to write complete sentences right now. Now the next one. What do you think made the birds sing? Now birds sang, or the birds were singing in the poem. So what made them sing? Written all 5 answers, of course. A few words you have to jot down. Now the next one. What was the mood of the wind? Happy, sad, angry, irritated. All these are moods. So you could write one word for the mood of the wind or maybe two words. Now the next one, what did the wind ask the tree? What did the wind ask the tree? This is easy, just write a few words. Now the next one. Did the wind listen to what the tree had to say to her? Now the wind asked for something, the tree gave a reply, and when the tree said something to the wind, did the wind listen to what the tree said? Yes or no again in the answer. Now describe the weather when the tree was loaded with fruits. What was the weather like when the tree was loaded with fruits, like when the cherries were on the tree? It is in the last stanza. If you don't remember, you'll have to revise the last stanza. Now the next one. Who came asking for cherries? This is very easy. I'm sure almost all of you are going to get it right. Now the last one in this quiz. What was the tree's reaction? That means when this someone came asking for cherries, what was the tree's reaction? What did the tree say or do? And then there is a second part to this question. How did it means the tree help her? So just write what was the tree's reaction, one or two or three words, and how did it help her? Again, you can write in complete sentence. Got all the answers jotted down in your notebook? Now let us see the score. First, you'll have to see whether your answer is right or wrong, and then you have to give 2 points for each correct answer. Total points, because there are 11 questions, are 22. Add 3 points if you have answered in your own words. And any child who has got more than 20, that means 20 or above, well done. But you must revise properly if you have less than 20. And if you are not sure about your answers, please open your book and check the answers from the book, from this poem. Now I hope you all have done this quite well, because this was very easy. And if by chance you have not, then you need to revise and do this quiz to test yourself again. Now we go to Wordpad, that is the word bank. There are very few words and their meanings are given. Very few difficult words and the meanings. So let us just revise these words. Nigh, N-I-G-H. It means, in Old English, it means near. So the old word for near is nigh. Second word, eager. Eager means interested and excited about doing something. Third word is a contraction. It is neath with an apostrophe, that shows that some letters have been left out. And what does neath mean? Neath means beneath. The next word is quivering. Quivering means shaking slightly. Now the next word, puffing, blowing out in clouds. When you take out smoke and then puff out clouds. This you can see very clearly when someone is smoking a cigarette. Glee means delight. The synonym for glee is delight. At hand, something that has appeared and is around. That is something which is near you or which you have. Now, plea means an emotional request. When you plead with someone, you request for something emotionally. Now, we go to the exercise in this poem, which is summary of the poem. Now, I must bring your attention to this, that this summary of the poem is given as fill in the blanks, or blanks are there in the summary, a help box is there, and you have to complete the summary using the words from the help box, which becomes easier because the words are given to you. But as we have also done summary writing, and it is going to come in your terminal exams, and I told you lines may not be given for writing the summary. We will ask you to write the summary of any of the three poems done by us, that is Trees, the Gumby Cat, or the Raven and the Fox. Now, when you are writing the summary of the poem without any help box, on your own, then the summary has to be shorter. It has to be just 1/3 of the length of the original poem. So this is around 15 to 16 lines. So you should have summary in just 5 sentences or maybe 6. But just now we are going to do the summary of the poem, but this one is given as fill in the blanks. You have to complete it using the words from the help box. In the exams, we may change these fill in the blanks to something else. They may be given as true or false. They may be given as questions and answers. Now, for example, if you have this, the first line of the summary, the poem Trees is about the effects of changing seasons on trees. We can frame a question on it and ask you, what is the poem Trees about? And a question mark. So you will have to write the answer in your own words and in complete sentences, that the poem Trees is about the effects of changing seasons on trees and the relationship between plants and human beings. Both the points should be mentioned. Then we can frame questions on any stanza and ask you as answer in brief or even long answers. So please prepare the summary properly, but be prepared to answer questions based on the poem or on the summary, or true or false, or in any other form. Now let us do the summary and fill in the blanks. You have already done this before, so you have to compare your answers from the video. You just see the correct answers and then see if you have filled in the blanks properly. You were supposed to write it in the notebook as well. So take out your notebook and take the answers. The poem Trees is about the effects of changing seasons on trees. The word we have filled in is seasons. It is about the relation between which two things? Plants and humans. Here the words are given, so we use those words. But if you are writing the summary on your own, you can use other words like nature, human beings. Each season has a different effect on plants. When the dash of winter falls on trees, what comes in the winter and falls on trees? Frost. Frost you can see only in winter time. So when the frost of winter falls on trees, it withers the buds. Once the buds are shrunk, the flowers will not, what will not happen if the buds are not there? Can we get flowers? No. Only if buds are there and they bloom do we get the flowers. So once the buds are shrunk, the flowers will not blossom. And if there are no flowers, then there will be no dash either. If flowers are not there, then we can't get fruits. So if there are no flowers, then there will be no fruits either. Now let us come to the first stanza of the poem. What is there in the first stanza? In the first stanza, the frost threatens to fall on the buds. What are there in the beginning on the tree? On the tree, in the beginning, in the very first line, which I asked in the quiz also, the tree had leaves and buds. So the frost threatens to fall on the buds. But the whole tree means from the tip to the last part. So it is, what is the last part which is under the ground? Roots. So, but the whole tree from its roots to its tip pleads with the frost. Pleads is a polite emotional request. So pleads with the frost not to fall so that the flowers can blossom. So here you had to fill in two words in this sentence. Roots to its tip was given, and then after tip, pleats. Pleads, pleats. Now we have completed the first stanza and we come to the second stanza. And which force of nature is described in the second stanza? It is the wind indeed. So in the second stanza, the wind knows that if it blows very hard, then the flowers on the tree would fall. And the wind once again pleads with the second force of nature not to destroy the flowers as they are about to spring cherries. Now we come to the third stanza, which is also the last stanza because it is a very short poem. In the last stanza, a little dash looks at the cherries that are hanging from the tree. In the last stanza, who is looking at the cherries? A little girl. She asks the tree for what does she ask? Does she go and pluck the cherries to eat? No. First, she asks the tree for permission. So you have to fill in the word permission. Permission. She asks the tree for permission to pluck them to eat. The tree then gladly bows down, bows, bows down or bows down. So bow is actually used for bow and arrow. Here it bends down, so we'll say bows down. So the tree gladly bows down so that the girl can pluck at the cherries, and it tells the girl that it had been dashed the cherries just for her. What had the tree been doing? The tree had been saving the cherries just for her. So now this poem is a limerick, as I told you. And if you are asked what is a limerick is a poem in which you have 5 lines in each stanza. And what is the rhyme scheme? A, that means first, second, and fifth lines are longer and rhyme with each other. And and third and fourth lines are shorter, and these two rhyme. So you should know what a limerick is, but usually they are funny. Here it is serious with a serious message for us, and so it is called a poetic limerick. Now, what is the prep for today? You have to write the meanings of the given words and use the words in sentences of your own. Now here I would want to remind you again that we are not going to use the meaning in sentences of our own, and of your own means you cannot have any sentence from the poem. It has to be your own, framed by you from outside. Now if you take the word quivering, it means shaking slightly. Now you'll write the meaning shaking slightly, but when you write or frame a sentence or write or make a sentence, you are not going to use the words what I told you as meaning shaking slightly, but you have to use the word quivering. So the little child was quivering in the cold. You quiver in the cold, or you quiver when you are scared. So I have to use quivering, and I can't use anything from the lesson. I can't say the tree was quivering or it was quivering and then it went and asked or pleaded. No, it has to be from outside. So you can just say the child was quivering in the cold. Then the next word is glee. Third word eager. The fourth word nigh. Fifth at hand. Sixth plea. And the last one puffing. Now children, you have to do this in your English classwork notebook. First you write the meaning. First you have to write the title of the lesson. Then of course you can write the word revision before the title. Just write the word revision. You should have written revision even before doing the cranky Macau prep. But if you have not, at least right now, write revision, and then you copy the question or the instruction that says write the meaning of the given words and use the words in sentences of your own. First, you will take the first word, quivering, which I told you means to shaking slightly, not to, just shaking slightly. After you write the meaning in the very next line, you will make a sentence of your own. Then after you have written the meaning as well as made a sentence of your own, then you are going to leave a line and then write the second word, its meaning and its sentence. Make its sentence. So you are going to complete your prep today. You are going to learn the meanings and write the meanings of these words which I have given and then make very good sentences of your own. Think properly. You have to use a dictionary if you are not sure about certain words, but all of you must have this prep done in your English notebook. Thank you, children. Till we meet next time with another interesting lesson. Thank you. Take care.